Using an operating system that you've never really used before can seem like a lonely experience. Well, you don't have to suffer it alone. There's plenty of people out there and plenty of friends of FreeBSD. Right, this is a list of hardware vendors that can ship either compatible hardware or actually hardware with FreeBSD installed. It's not an exhaustive list, it's only a few that I've picked out, and it's in no particular order. Right, the first one we're looking at is Bargain Hardware, based in Preston, UK. And this is one that I've actually shopped from on various occasions via eBay. You can order, of course, from the website themselves. They're very reliable. There's some really good cracking deals that they have. And it's based in the UK in Preston, which is in the north of England. And one of the great things about Bargain Hardware is, apart from their professionalism, is the choice of machines with FreeBSD actually installable as an option, which to me is fantastic. Like for instance this HP Elite Desk 800, you can of course have it Windows, but you can select there at the bottom it says FreeBSD installation, which is brilliant. Of course you get Ubuntu, Fedora and Debian, but having FreeBSD as an option is fantastic. Again, and this HP Elite Desk 705, I mean I'm just picking these at random, again, it's FreeBSD as an option. It'll be installed for you. I doubt very much it's probably going to have a GUI install by default. It'll be just the base install, but still, it's there. It's an option to have something with FreeBSD. And I think it also goes the same with all the servers available. So yeah, very good. An excellent option. A good company. Give it a look. Next on the list is ABMX. It's based in Tucson, California. And it's mainly servers and more, I don't know, maybe business-orientated hardware. And there it is. It's based in Tucson, California. Looks very nice. And say, for instance, this 2U mini server, if you just scroll down to option for operating systems, if I can find it right at the bottom. Nearly there. Keep on going. There we go. Although technically you can't install FreeBSD, you can select it for OS compatibility, which may not be exactly shipping it out with FreeBSD, but it's pretty close in the sense that they'll make sure that it works with it. And of course, if it's got Linux as an operating system to be installed, there's a good chance it will work with FreeBSD anyway. I see, sometimes you can get that. Some companies may not offer FreeBSD, but if they offer Linux, there's a good chance it'll work. So that's always something to bear in mind. So yeah, give them a check out and see what you can see. Next is Erax, based in Hayward and Los Gatos in California. Excuse the pronunciation. And they also have quite a friendly relationship with open source software, and FreeBSD is listed at the bottom there, which is interesting. You can probably tell by the name of the company that they deal with a lot of server hardware. And if you want to contact them, there they are, in Hayward, Los Gatos, Dhaka in Bangladesh, which is interesting. Oh, of course, you can email them through the web. If we have a look at this example of what they offer, and if you go down to configuration options, apart from the usual PCI hardware, etc., that you can configure, if you look at the installable OS, scroll down, oh, there we go. He says, oh, there we are. You can have FreeBSD Legacy or FreeBSD Release or Production. So I should imagine the Legacy will be the last supported release, will be 12.1, etc., and then the production will be the 13.1. Next, we'll have a look from Erax. We're going to have a look at the iDesk Q3. This is more of a workstation, And again, it's the same choice of FreeBSD. You can have production or legacy. Again, like bargain hardware, although this is newer hardware, it's a great option and a great opportunity to have FreeBSD installed and then shipped to you. It's really nice indeed. And they do a whole range of other large machinery, business and industrial. So yeah, very professionally done, very nice. Next is SW Technology, based in Dallas, Texas. They do storage systems, servers, etc., like the other companies we mentioned, but it also says we have a full lineup of pre-configured Linux and FreeBSD machines. So we'll have a look at the Xeon. Well, we've got workstation, the Xeon workstation. Let's have a look. There we go. Yeah, lovely Xeons. And again, like the previous site, you get a hardware and software configuration. And let's have a scroll down there. Yeah, the default is Fedora 35, but there is an option for FreeBSD installation. Again, brilliant. You can have servers or workstations with FreeBSD installed. And speaking of computers, we have Think Penguin, based in Keene, New Hampshire. Now this is a dedicated, as far as I know, is a dedicated company which only sells Linux machines, or Linux compatible machines. As you would expect, really, a lot of hardware which is, to them, which would be proven compatible with Linux. And again, it's probably going to be compatible with FreeBSD, although there are some caveats. And there's a long list of supported Linux distros, if this is something you might be interested in. It's quite a lot of Arch and Manjaro. But yeah, I don't know whether this, I mean, I don't really keep up with the latest thing, but if, say, for instance, this is the latest technology and it runs Linux, yeah, you might have a look with it on FreeBSD. And I think even though I don't use Linux, I think just having an expanding range of companies that sell Linux-based machines is a good thing anyway. Yeah, both OSs will benefit from this. And of course, you've got peripherals that are most likely to be compatible with Linux and FreeBSD. Have a look and give them a call if you've got any questions. Next, we've got Netgate, famously renowned for their networking gear, based in Austin in Texas. I don't think really many people need to be introduced to Netgear if you're in the IT sector. They do some fantastic routers and switches, etc., network cards. But why I've included them on here is you can buy the Netgate systems with pfSense already installed. And if you already know that pfSense is based upon FreeBSD, so in a sense you're getting a FreeBSD system pre-configured for firewall, networking, etc. And yeah, I mean, you could of course set up just a generic box and put FreeBSD in it and configure it manually. Of course you can, but this comes pre-configured, already set up with a fantastic GUI via your browser, and they have a brilliant reputation for knowing what they're talking about, and they have good support as well. And if you're really in the market for general networking, I think Netgate supplies everything you could possibly need. So they've got some rack mounted devices, some under the table or on the table devices. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Next, we're looking at services. Now, the services on offer here could be web hosting, they could be after sales support, or just general inquiries or jobs to fix things. And again, in no particular order. And the first one we're going to have a look at is Sam Sheridan of Sheridan Computers, based in Manchester, in England. And yeah, I mean, he's a smart guy, and he has over 20 odd years of experience in networking and fixing, and you name it, he probably can do it for you. And why he is listed in the Friends of FreeBSD is because he has produced quite a few videos, and that's how I came first to know about him, about FreeBSD on YouTube. And that got me interested in looking at his website, and I became more impressed about what he had to offer. And the videos that he's made, there's a lot of subjects covered. A lot of them open source based, a lot of them security based. There's Sam himself. Hello, Sam. And the great thing is, he's done quite a few FreeBSD ones, starting here. Look, the asterisk videos, how to install that telephony software, and some more there. Let's have a look at that. Inbound and outbound calls. Yeah, a bit of IP PBX. Yeah. So yeah, anyway, yeah, he's done quite a few videos on FreeBSD. If you go to his YouTube webpage, check them out, and send a hello from RoboNuggie for me, please. Next is FreeBSD Mall. Now, established in 1991 in Brentwood, California. Now, these are someone that I've bought some items from before, and I find it quite amazing that a company can sell FreeBSD related gear when really it's something which you don't see anyone else really doing. Of course, there's one or two other ones where people can order bespoke items, but here is a company that sells books and t-shirts, DVD ROMs if you want to collect the set. Some people do. And well, they also offer support, technical support programs, levels 1 to 3, or levels 0 to 3. Email, phone, gold, platinum, 24/7, and incident. And of course, if you've got a business with loads of FreeBSD machines, or you're in that particular market, then, you know, it's something which is very useful. And they're actually backed by IX Systems. IX Systems know what they're talking about when it comes to FreeBSD, so you've got that behind it, which is pretty cool. Next is FreeBSD Brazil, based in Belo Horizonte, Brazil. Hopefully I pronounced that properly. The website is in Spanish, or is it Portuguese? I don't know which one it is. And yeah, I can't really translate it for you, but you get the gist of it. There's some support, there's some lessons that you can actually have with FreeBSD. There's the contact address. It's always interesting to see FreeBSD supported in other countries other than English-speaking countries. And I think it just proves to show just how universal or international FreeBSD is. So if you're in that part of the world, then give FreeBSD Brazil a call. Next, we're looking at A-Team systems, and they have Linux support and FreeBSD support and plenty of other support for different things like SQL databases. They have resources for you to use and check upon if you've got any questions. They have flexible support plans, and they've also got cloud and dedicated IT teams, which is pretty nice actually, if you're in the market for that. They have an open source philosophy. They very much like open source. And you can contact them there. They have a live chat, which is very nice. And they're based in Las Vegas, Nevada. So yeah, you need FreeBSD support immediately. You can call them on that number. 24/7 support for FreeBSD in its Beehive hypervisor, or ZFS. And that is pretty sweet. And any company that offers support for Beehive and ZFS and FreeBSD in general is something that we should all be supporting themselves. So if you're in for that, give them a call. Next needs no introduction if you're in the FreeBSD community, and that's Clara Inc. with Sabina and Alan. It's established in 2018, based in Ontario, Canada. And now these really are dedicated FreeBSD support company. They also do ZFS and a whole host of other FreeBSD related services. They do live webinars, articles, and yeah, I mean, the mere fact it's got Sabina and Alan in I mean, you know, two of the biggest brains that you could have in the FreeBSD world. You know, any questions that you have about FreeBSD or any support that you want, my goodness me, that these will better answer them just like that. It's a paid support, but, you know, a lot of them are these days. So you could do worse in giving them a look. Next, we've got Transitive Technologies. And again, it's another company that provides FreeBSD support. And any company that does that is worth listing, really, is worth supporting. They do FreeBSD consultancy, which is always welcome. And the support really is quite comprehensive by the looks of that. And there's a general thing of what they do, established in 2010. Yeah. And let's have a look at the about. I love the fact that these companies embrace open source software. You know, again, it could be Linux, of course, but FreeBSD and just open source software in general. I think it's a real shift that you're getting companies, you're getting like an ecosystem, an entire industry built around that, which I think is fantastic. Because I still remember the days when open source software and Linux and were all kind of like seen as a fringe or a hobby OS, which they no longer are, of course. So yeah, and you get companies like Transitive offering services and support on a professional level. Yeah, very good. So that's Transitive Technologies. Next, something slightly different, that's Unix porting. It says, are you stuck? Need a FreeBSD professional? Having an emergency with your sysadmin or FreeBSD consultant is AWOL? We can provide 24/7 access to experienced technicians who can help you solve problems with FreeBSD. Again, it's paid support, and you can contact them that way, and they'll send you a quote based upon your problem. They offer Linux support and Solaris and OpenBSD, and I think they can also help you importing software from one platform to another. And established in 2001, interested in importing the portability of Unix software. Again, you may be a developer who's developed perhaps on Linux or on FreeBSD and you want to port it over to the other platforms. These could do it for you. It's an unusual service if that's what they're offering, and something which you never know, if you're a developer anyway, you might need, or you may not have the time to, and they'll do it for you for a reasonable rate. Next, we have Manchester PC, based in, surprisingly, Manchester, and FreeBSD support as well. So it's number one for FreeBSD support, based in Manchester, UK, and that's the second one we had based in Manchester. There must be something about Manchester that is very much high tech. And we FreeBSD troubleshoot, etc. There's some reviews. Looks like it does repair as well, and there's quite a few places. There we go, look, Manchester. Does repair, business support, networking. And here's a little about. Bio, did it on the Commodore 64. All right, very good. That's a good place to start. So yeah, again, it's one of these things that if you need that and you're based in the UK, then go to this website, have a look, and see what's on offer for you. Next is, well, it's Amazon and it's AWS. And these are like virtual machines. I've really not looked into this. It's something which I really don't need. But the fact that they're supporting FreeBSD is cool. Here it's FreeBSD 12 on ARM, and you can get an estimated cost of using the virtual machine based on FreeBSD. Amazon machine images. And AWS support is, works flawlessly and seamlessly with AWS. And there's a list of all the other ones that they do. There's FreeBSD 12, 13, ARM 13, Oh, it's 13.1. That's good. So that's the up-to-date production one. We got ARM 13. Yep. And for what, if you do need this, if you need the support that Amazon can give you and the scalability that they've got, then of course I don't need to tell you to look there. I think you already know that. But to know that they have FreeBSD is good. So even Amazon braces FreeBSD. Okay, that's cool. Next we have IFDNRG. I don't know what that stands for. And it's based in Edinburgh, Scotland. And it does offer FreeBSD support. I think in general this company offers a really large support for open source software. Again, not just FreeBSD, but for Linux as well. And it has very much an open source mentality. And it supports a lot of jars. It's a secure web host. We have an 8-camera live production setup. That's pretty cool. So I think really, and also sound as well. I think that these will be very handy to handle any live events. Video and audio hosting. So yeah. And based in Edinburgh, so they probably do the annual Hogmanay. Very good. So if you're in Edinburgh, if you're in Scotland and need some FreeBSD support, I think you should give these a call. And it says IFDNRG are listed as FreeBSD commercial internet service provider. Now that's pretty cool. It says, we have tried and tested various Linux distributions such as Red Hat, Slackware, Debian and Ubuntu, etc. but have finally happily settled on FreeBSD, and there's a little explanation of why they prefer FreeBSD. I like these guys. In this section, the community can be anything from a YouTube channel to a dedicated blog or a web page. There's not a great deal of dedicated FreeBSD web pages out there and video channels, but here are some in no particular order. And first, of course, we have to lead with Vermaiden. Now this fella, he is, and I would say, one of the utmost authorities in how to configure FreeBSD for your desktop, because his blog is so well known for that. But he has years of doing this. He's been doing this a long time. And he is someone which I've consulted on numerous occasions. I always refer people to his blog. And he produces Valuable News, by the way, which is a weekly news compendium of all the things related to not just FreeBSD, but OpenBSD, NetBSD, Linux, etc. And it's an essential reading. And if you're on Twitter, then you subscribe to him, then you'll get notification when he releases it. And it's something that you really shouldn't miss. It's really, really good. And like I say, that whenever anyone's got any problems or questions that I can't answer, which is probably more often than not, I'll refer them to his blog. Because he is also the developer, maintainer of BeadM. And he says he started BeadM in 2012 and it's developed support today. In the meantime, the FreeBSD project created its own called BECTL that aims to implement BeadMs in the C language. I'm not even pronouncing it right. Someone once pointed out that they've never heard anyone pronounce BeadM and Bechtel in the way that I do, but it's the way that I do it. But anyway, it's boot environment tools. And I find his to be invaluable. He also does auto mount, which again has saved a lot of people a lot of hassle. And LSBLK or LS block, which aims to implement a FreeBSD version of the Linux tool. Yeah, so to me, absolutely essential. Vermaiden, his blog, his tools. this guy is a one-man army of FreeBSD advocacy, I think. You can donate, and one thing I do really appreciate when you look at his website, if you do donate to him, he'll list exactly everything that he's bought or done with the contributions. So he's not just taking the money and saving up for a holiday. He's actually reinvesting it into his site and the services that he can offer, and for his own learning on FreeBSD. So that's to be applauded. And everybody ever lists what they do with the donations, and he's to be applauded for that. So he has a very comprehensive FreeBSD desktop guide. I mean, there's step-by-step pictures, explanations. He's constantly updating it. It's like a work in progress. He does some really, really, really detailed work, and I think far more detail than I could ever put in a video. And I mean, I'm waxing lyrical about his site and what he does, but it really is that good. And I would love to see, and it's probably never going to happen, but I would love to see him and his blog really almost like an addition to the FreeBSD handbook, or included in the FreeBSD handbook, or indeed listed as a second FreeBSD handbook. It's something which I think is only fair. It's very good. So yeah, there's Vermaiden, or Vermaiden. I think Vermaiden. Do you know, all these years I still don't know how to pronounce it. It's Vermaiden. Again, he's very active on Twitter. If you've got any questions, or you just drop him a message and he'll get back to you and he'll actually answer it. Next, we've got Sheridan Computer's YouTube channel. I know I've already covered Sam in the services part, but I really can't not include him in the community part for his YouTube channel, because he does a lot on his YouTube channel. It's not all FreeBSD related. He does some Raspberry Pi stuff, Synology, Pi-hole, etc. Interviews with Tom Lawrence at Lawrence Systems. But he has done, and he keeps saying he's going to do some more, so I'll have to pull him up on that. He said he's going to do some more FreeBSD videos. I mean, he's very busy running his company, of course, but you know, whenever he gets some spare time, if he's not asleep or doing whatever he wants to do in his spare time, get in front of the camera and make some more videos. FreeBSD will be something that he always wants to try. So have a look at the playlist. Yeah, there's the FreeBSD lot. He's done 13 videos on FreeBSD. And a lot of it, of course, is IT related to telephony. Not all of it. It's Unify, so Ubiquiti Unify controller installation. So yeah, it's very good. And it's something which, you know, I admire him for doing that. He's got 20 years of running a company in the IT sector and getting a YouTube channel going, so that, it, you know, takes a lot of dedication. So next we've got Gary at Gary H Tech. Now, I've come to know Gary in the last few, I don't know, last year or so, maybe more. I don't know. Time flies. And he does a lot of FreeBSD videos. He does occasionally stray to the other side and do non-FreeBSD videos. How dare he? But he does. But he does a lot of FreeBSD videos, and he has a different style to mine, and that's perfectly fine. We can't all do the same thing. And his style is, it's a little bit more technical than mine, because he has more experience in that maintainer field in FreeBSD. Very knowledgeable. He produces videos whenever he can. Of course, we all have busy lives to lead. So when you can yourself, go over to Gary's page, have a look to see what he's got, and tell him RoboNuggie sent you. Next, we've got Marco Tasic. Now, his style, or rather his channel, is very much a programming-orientated channel. He does some FreeBSD-related videos. Quite a few, actually. He's done quite a few there. Very technical, and if you're more into the technical side of FreeBSD and programming, etc., then Marco's YouTube channel is perhaps for you. There is some OpenBSD, so we'll forgive him on that. But in general, it's FreeBSD related or programming related. And again, it serves a certain niche. And if that's what your particular itch is, then Marco's channel will give you the scratch. Next on the list is SteamBSD. Now this is done by an individual, I'm not quite sure of his name, so please forgive me. And he's been doing this for a long time now. He wants to produce, and he has produced a variant on FreeBSD, a particular spin on FreeBSD, which is game related. So he's using Steam and all the various other ways that you can get gaming on FreeBSD beyond the free versions of the games. There's even videos of him doing with Valve Proton, so he's obviously doing something right. I think it's something that we perhaps should encourage him and give him more support, because really, if he can crack this, then it's going to be a fantastic thing. An actual distro based upon FreeBSD that can play games out of the box. That will be excellent. Next we've got EuroBSD Con, and again this is a compilation of videos taken from the EuroBSD conference. I can't really make the I would love to go to the conferences actually. Some of them FreeBSD conferences sound like fun, but a lot of them either take place abroad, in America, middle of Europe. So really, if you can't make these, and that's fine, we can't all suddenly jet off somewhere and attend a conference. Now this will give you the next best thing, either filmed live, streamed live or filmed live, or a video of the highlights. And so really they've got one from 2022 all the way down to 2007. 2007, interesting. And in the France, Bulgaria, Norway, Denmark. A virtual one during the epidemic that we had, which I'm not going to say. And yes, it's all very good. Not all FreeBSD. They do cover other operating systems in the open source realm. Right, yes, well then that's it. It's not an exhaustive list. There are plenty of sites I've no doubt not included that I should have done. If you've got any, and they're dedicated to FreeBSD, or predominantly FreeBSD. We're not talking about the sites that occasionally might mention FreeBSD, or the YouTube channel that might occasionally review a FreeBSD when it comes out. But if you know of any dedicated sites, any companies that cater for FreeBSD either exclusively or cater it in a major way, or any hardware vendors, etc., then I would absolutely love to know who they are and where they are based. Then if I get enough together, I'll put another video up, a kind of like addendum really, of people, businesses and places that are friendly to FreeBSD. I'll put them in a future video, and I'll give credit to who mentioned them, so we can get the message out that there's a wide FreeBSD support network, a network of FreeBSD friendly companies and sites. Because only doing that together can we actually push forward. No one should be an individual using FreeBSD with no support or nowhere to turn. Anyway, thanks for watching. It's a rather lengthy video, and I'll catch you next time. Just as a special ending to this video, I would like to mention and point out the FreeBSD Foundation homepage. Now, I've covered this in a previous video, and quite rightly so, because without the FreeBSD Foundation, many of the things that we love about FreeBSD just wouldn't be there. They've sponsored a lot of projects, and here are just some of the ongoing ones, such as FreeBSD as a Tier 1 cloud init platform and OpenStack on FreeBSD. These are fantastic projects in themselves, and sponsored by the FreeBSD Foundation. Another one, Wi-Fi update for the 802.11 AC. Now, that's one of the areas where FreeBSD perhaps lacks other OSs, but it's not an easy task, and it's getting done. And development of the RAID Z expansion feature of ZFS. The ones that have been complete is WireGuard review, update and integration, LLDB improvements, DRM graphics driver update, target Linux emulator compatibility improvements, and the list goes on and on and on that they've sponsored and then integrated into the FreeBSD OS itself. Fantastic stuff. So really, this special mention at the end really is to highlight that without the FreeBSD Foundation, many of the businesses, user groups, companies offering services, many of those things wouldn't be there, because there really wouldn't be a FreeBSD OS itself. Well, not in the current form anyway. This is the official FreeBSD YouTube channel, and it links to the FreeBSD project webpage and the FreeBSD Foundation. And it's got a fair good, if that's a real word, a fair good selection of videos on a lot of topics, as you would expect, of course. There's a lot of vendor summit presentations, FreeBSD Fridays. That's where they all are if you want to watch them. Some really, really good talks going on there. Some very knowledgeable people. The Installer Fest by Roller Angel is particularly good. If you want a step-by-step live, I suppose, real-time install, then, give him a watch. He's really, really good. And there's various talks. There's Deb again, FreeBSD Office Hours. Is that really 2 years ago? Good grief. But yes, she's given one in many, many talks that she does. There's Alan Jude again. He gets everywhere. So yes, there's a lot of videos, a lot of knowledgeable people there. And even though the one it's 4 months ago since the latest one, they do update sporadically. Like I said, they've done a batch there each 4 months ago. And previous to that, it was 7 months. So you might wait a little while, then like a bus that's late, you'll get 2 or 3 at the same time. And there's the live tab, if you want to look at the presentations. Very good. So that's the FreeBSD Project official YouTube channel. And then we're going to look at the FreeBSD Foundation channel. Now, there's not as much here. It's smaller in scope. And I think really what they've done is they've kind of like concentrated on putting things in this one, which is fine. You won't want, there's no point in replication across both channels. But also, the last video was 4 months ago. So again, like the FreeBSD channel, it's you get something like a couple of years back and then nothing, and then boom, 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 4 months ago. But, when they do post, and that's why, and I'm just going to do it now, just the notification bell, which you really should do. So next time they post any content, you get notified. But the FreeBSD Foundation channel is like installing a port on FreeBSD, an introduction to the FreeBSD operating system, installing a desktop environment. So there's good solid information there. There's not that much, but there's good solid information there. And I think they mirror the actual written down blog entries and how-to guides on the main site. So they're video equivalents, really. So very good. Oh, Minecraft, very good. So yes, these are the 2 official YouTube channels, and they complement the websites themselves. So like I say, if you've got any help that you need or any advice that you seek, by all means check my channel out and Gary's and Sam Sheridan's. But also check out the official ones, because there's a good chance that what you need to know is there. Anyway, before I go, not forgetting the Twitter channels. If you're on Twitter, seek out the official support and the user groups from there. On Discord and Telegram as well. That's a different issue. I might cover that in another video. So there's a lot of support out there. So you can't possibly do justice to everything that's out there and available. I can only, unless you want a 2-hour video, I can't cover every single thing. So there's always going to be something I'm going to miss out. There's somebody I'm perhaps not going to mention that I should mention, and I don't want anybody getting kind of upset, because I really wouldn't want to do that. If you let me know in the message boxes, message box. If you let me know in the comment section, that's it. Then I'll put them up in a future video for everybody that I've forgotten. Anyway, this is just an extra bit. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. This and every other video on my channel has been made using FreeBSD and open source software.